I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
Deal. You got it, Amanda. What's going on, guys? Anyway, so welcome back to Staying Salty. This week is CF and public situations, social situations. I already forgot it. But anyway, so how do you deal with CF in social situations such as like partying or bars, drugs, alcohol, funny stories, all that kind of crap? Yeah, drugs. People snort coke all the time on CF. Just kidding. Anyway, so my experience with all that is I just lived a normal childhood. So as you guys know, grew up not really like letting CF control my life or what I do. So I never had any restrictions, and that was a problem because when I got to college, I still didn't have any restrictions. So I'd go out to the bars, and even in high school, I'd go to parties, you know, like the normal thing that juniors, seniors, stuff like that do. And I'd stay up late all night and, you know, all that kind of stuff with my buddies and never had a problem. Once I was in college, instead of like every weekend or every other weekend or whatever, it was like, you know, 2 or 3 nights a week, which was definitely a different story. So for you guys that are young, then you have CF or any chronic illness, it's definitely important to have fun. I don't think you should ever like, I don't know. In my opinion, you shouldn't restrict yourself from doing stuff with your friends because you have CF. Now, obviously, when it comes to like drugs or like alcohol or anything like that, that actually plays a role in your health, that's when you should probably restrict, because alcohol suppresses your immune system or in your respiratory rate. And so therefore, you're not going to get that crap out. You're not going to be like breathing as effectively as possible as you usually do. And that's not so bad, you know, every once in a while. But definitely it adds up. Take it from me, guys. My lung function dropped from like the 90% down to 26% by the time I got out of college. And that was strictly from going out too much, not making my health a priority. I still did my treatments, still did my airway clearance, all that kind of stuff. So I was still doing the stuff I needed to do. I just was not making my health a priority. I was going out with my friends too much and staying up late, you know, drinking, all that kind of stuff. I never had a problem with drugs, never like was tempted to get into drugs. Even my buddies that like smoked and stuff, they're like very respectful of my CF and like wouldn't smoke around me, or if I went outside with them, they'd never like offer me or anything because like they knew about CF. Like they just cared about me more than they cared about like me joining them and doing some drugs or something. So that was nice. Obviously, make sure you have some good friends. Make sure they know you have CF. And then when it comes to like meeting strangers, I just don't care, guys. I feel like a lot of like the problem nowadays is people want to look cool so bad, or like they don't like, they're always scared of what other people think. And kind of like the gym stuff, like if I cough at the gym, I don't really care. Like, what are you going to possibly say to me that like, hey buddy, you're sick, like you need to go home? Well, guess what, bud? I got like 40% lung function. That will shut them up real quick. So like, it just doesn't affect me. I just don't care what other people think. So like, as long as I'm happy with myself and like I feel like I'm doing what I should be doing, I feel like I'm living my life the right way or how I want to, then nothing else really matters. And so same thing with friends and like support systems and stuff. Like when we went to parties in college, there was times like I would be coughing up a storm, or like, oh gosh, I got ABPA, which is a fungal infection, and I had to take like antifungals and prednisone and all that kind of stuff. And for whatever reason, I had a month where I just smelled awful. I smelled so bad, guys. It was so bad. And like my friends are trying to be nice about it. Like, oh dude, come on out. Like, no, really, it's not a big deal. And like, I can smell myself. I got bad sinuses. So I can smell myself. And it was just like radiating out of my pores. It was so gross. Oh, it was so bad. It was the worst time of my life. Like, and I'm like really like worried about my looks and appearance and stuff, especially like in college, right? When my buddies are around and girls, all that. Oh man, it was so bad. It was torture, like karma for what, I don't know, being cocky or something, I don't know. But anyway, Point is, it was bad. And I went to parties, and people were like, oh God, dude, like, you know, you smell, or like, what was that smell, whatever. And like, we were just laughing, because like, we knew, like, oh, it's probably me. Like, who knows? It's probably me. But yeah, so that was one experience of mine. I've been coughing a lot in public before, and people say, oh, you okay, and all that kind of crap, or like, they'll give me cough drops, like, at work. I was coughing a lot, and then they give me cough drops at work, and it's just something that's like, you get frustrated, but like, I don't know, I feel like people get frustrated at those people that do that stuff, like give you cough drops or ask about you, but it's only because I think you're actually frustrated with yourself and like frustrated with CF that you're doing that, because like those people are actually trying to do a nice thing, right? Like when I was at work, this old guy gave me a couple cough drops, and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't need cough drops, like I have CF, but he doesn't know that. And so like, you know, he was actually trying to do something nice, and I was a little bit frustrated about it, but it wasn't at him. It was like, I was just frustrated with the situation, and therefore, I obviously had no one else to blame it on, except for him. I didn't act mean to him. I'm just saying, like, I understand how people think that way. So, anyway, social situations with CF, I just think it's really important to make sure you're confident in what you're doing. Try to be happy with yourself. Try to, like, empower yourself as far as, like, make sure you feel like you're doing everything right health-wise. Make sure you're happy in your life as far as like your job or your hobbies, your passions, and all that kind of stuff. And once you're confident with yourself and like just have a lot of self-esteem and self-respect, and I feel like in social situations it's a lot easier because you're not being peer pressure. You don't worry so much about what other people think, and the CF just isn't going to become an issue. Anyway, I know other people have different opinions on it. I know like it's really hard to have that self-esteem and that like self-confidence, especially when you're younger and you're around a lot of kids, and I don't really have any good tips on like how to build that up. Just you know, make sure you're doing something that you're happy about. Make sure you are striving to better you and not striving to look cooler or better your image in front of like others, I guess, if that makes sense. And I think once you're happy with yourself, then like other people are going to be attracted to you, if that makes sense. Not like looks wise, but like, kind of like no one wants to be around someone negative all the time, right? If someone's always like, oh, life sucks, or like my day sucks, whatever, like no one wants to be around that person. So it's true. So like if you're a really positive person and you try to like not dish out those negative thoughts all the time, you end up attracting more people. Like more people want to be around you, more people want to laugh, more people want to smile, right? And so if you guys ever think like someone that's very charismatic, you're like, gosh, that guy he walks into a room and lights it up. Like, I got a friend like that, and he's just so, like, happy all the time. And obviously he's not happy all the time, but, like, when you see him, like, he has this big smile, he's very outgoing, and it just really does a lot. So, just try to try to be positive. I don't know how to get you guys to do that. But, anyway, I feel like I'm rambling at this point, guys. That's my thoughts on, you know, social situations with CF, and it's definitely hard. It's definitely intimidating, and yeah, live your best life. What do you got to say, Amanda? Wait, is there any good experiences that you've had with me with CF, social-wise or public-wise?
Just that lady that told you that you had pneumonia. You remember that?
No. When was that? We were somewhere, and some lady told me I had pneumonia because I was coughing a lot. And we just kind of looked at each other and just rolled our eyes and laughed. And I was in the parking garage one time, leaving clinic, my hospital clinic, and I was paying for my parking garage ticket, and the lady was behind me, like standing in line waiting to pay for hers, and I was coughing. No one else was coughing, guys. It was only me. And she straight up looks at her, whoever she was with, and goes, we gotta get out of here. There's tons of sick people around us. And it's, what are you gonna do? You know, like, I don't know. It was funny, like she's the one that's ignorant to the situation. She doesn't understand what the reality is, so she assumes something. And that's not necessarily her fault, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of ignorant. So, you know, pity her, like that's how she's gonna live life and that's how she's gonna assume. Then probably she's not the happiest person or she's not the friendliest person, stuff like that. So it is what it is, guys. But I gotta get out of here because we're shopping now. But anyway, guys, that's the video. That's my opinion. That's my experience. I'll see you guys next week. Stay salty.
See, I've got cystic fibrosis.